I'm Matt.
I'm Dylan.
And this is
On a Tuesday
with Matt and Dylan. And in this episode, we talked the Bermuda Triangle, a little bit of Naruto, a little bit of the new King Kong versus Godzilla, and our weekly recap of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And for our main topic today, we are discussing the future of the MCU and what we want to see.
The future.
You ever think about the Bermuda Triangle?
You know, I do sometimes, to be honest.
I feel like
did they figure that out?
I don't think it's ever been figured out. I don't think anybody's going to figure it out.
But like people have definitely gone there since, right?
I don't think so. I haven't heard a single person who's ever gone to the Bermuda Triangle and lived.
There's definitely people that have gone and lived. But I think it's just random as far as whether you disappear or not.
It's like 50-50. Like, hey, you could have a great time.
But you would think that I'm
lost.
sure there's been research done on the Bermuda Triangle.
I mean,
right?
You think? I mean, I don't know. I've never really heard. All I've seen is just conspiracy videos about
Yeah, but I feel like there's probably been a scientific expedition. Wait, isn't the Bermuda Triangle where the Kong Island is?
Is it?
I think that's where Kong Skull Island is set. They go into the Bermuda Triangle.
I mean,
so maybe they're just hiding King Kong out there.
Look, there's a lot of things they could be hiding out there. What if Biggie and Tupac are out there chilling with Kong? Who knows?
Dude, it's literally just an island of all these, all the conspiracy theories, just chill on an island in the Bermuda Triangle.
Maybe that's why nobody can figure it out.
So, did you watch, what was it, King Kong versus Godzilla?
I did.
And? I have not seen it, so please don't spoil it, even though
I
don't know. I don't really know what kind of spoilers you can get from a monkey fighting a lizard.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really spoil? There's obviously going to be destruction. I mean,
how many buildings went down? Don't tell me.
I mean,
that good, huh?
It was. I mean, if I had to give it a rating, I would say 3 out of 5 stars.
You enjoyed it, but it was.
But yeah, it was I don't think I'll ever spend my time watching it again unless I was really bored.
There's some people that just I follow this podcast. This guy who literally just loves all the monster movies, and so he's been just binging all the monster movies, literally all the way back to OG Godzilla, fighting Mothra, and
wow.
He just he's watching all of them, and he finally it all led up to this. I don't know what he thought of the movie. He probably liked it.
That's insane.
I've just never been a big, I don't know, I've never been a big monster movie guy. It always comes down to they come out, I want to see them, and then I never do.
I don't know. For me, I don't know, because I've seen the newer ones, the Godzilla 2014 movie and the Godzilla 2015. And then, so it's I don't know, I've kept up with the newer ones, but the older ones I haven't really watched. But so
I've seen parts of the OG King Kong, but because my mom watches TCM and I used to just tune in every once in a while, and yeah, it looks pretty cool though, with the stop motion, and he still rips a dinosaur's jaw in half, so that was cool.
Yeah.
You also said that you started watching a little something called Naruto, correct?
I did. I'm I'm almost into season 3. I'm going through it right now.
You started 2 days ago.
Literally, I go through things like that. It's no problem whatsoever.
If anybody is a Naruto fan, we're definitely going to do a Naruto podcast when Dylan's done.
So it'll be in a month.
Yeah, so give him a month.
Give me a month.
He'll finish OG and Shippuden, and then I don't know. Are you gonna watch? I guess you're probably too early to know if you're Sorry, man. The Sprite is getting to me. It's probably too early for you to know if you're going to watch Boruto, yeah.
You know what? I'm already going all in right now, so just might as well, you know?
Yeah, you're asking me about, like, because there's movies.
I'm asking you some, like, pretty, like...
Yeah, don't be asking me stuff about spoilers, because I'm not going to tell you.
Well, you know, it'd be cool if you did. I would really appreciate that. I have so many questions. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to put my phone on silent so it doesn't vibrate. I started a little stopwatch here, so if you just see me like
you're like that reminds me of like that commercial where it's like an old where it's like the people where they're training to not be their parents, and it's just like, can anyone show me where silence is? It's just like mine doesn't have silence. No, everyone does. It's right here.
It's right just here. Like I always forget where the buttons are sometimes. I always get a little confused, you know?
You need the old people class, it sounds like.
I don't. It's just like I have to remember where everything is. Cuz like I'm not used to putting my phone.
It's right here. It's on the side. Everybody has it. It's on the side.
I'm not used to putting my phone on silent, okay? So
one thing I totally forgot to talk about, also we just didn't have time last week. For what are we watching? I watched Sound of Metal, which is a new Riz Ahmed movie.
Oh, okay.
And he's like a rock and roll dude, and he like starts losing his hearing.
Oh.
And so he goes deaf from like rocking out, and it's basically like him having to like deal with like being a deaf person now. And dude, it's like crazy, like what a different world those people live in. Like he goes to this like all deaf community, and like basically just has to learn like to communicate without like literally hearing anything, because everybody's like just signing at each other like at a table, and it's just dead silent, and like he's just right there lost. Like,
you know, I really want to learn how to do sign language.
Yeah,
like,
I think it'd be a cool skill.
It's definitely useful because you never know if, you know, somebody will be, you know, hearing impaired, you know, and it's nice to know.
Have you heard about this movie at all?
I have it. I was like, what is, I went on to Letterboxd. I went on to Letterboxd yesterday to log Kong versus Godzilla, and I was like, what is this? And I clicked on it. I was like, what is Matt watching? I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, this is a new, so this got nominated. I think it got nominated for Best Picture. But it's like one of those movies. It's one of those
gotcha.
Oscar-y movies, you know. But it was really good. Jen watched it with me. She really liked it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I dug it. Hope it wins stuff. I don't think it will, but I hope it does.
Hopefully.
Have you seen any of the Oscar movies that got nominated?
I don't even know who the nominees are.
Yeah, I don't think there's like only.
There's a chance I probably haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the nominees this year aren't like, none of those movies are like a Parasite where I was like, this is amazing. So I'm not like ecstatic for the Oscars this year, but it was also just a weird year for movies. So.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the pandemic pretty much made it so nobody could go to movie theaters, and then stuff was kind of released. It's weird because like we've talked about, stuff has been like released really oddly on like streaming services. Some is like it's free, and then some it's like you have to pay, but you can watch it on streaming, and then some is just like, you know, you just gotta pay, and it's like I don't know. So, you know, I try to watch if it's free.
It's been tough trying to figure out. It's also been tough trying to figure out like when all this stuff comes out, just because it's all been shuffling around like crazy.
Yeah, you better believe I have the MCU as a whole memorized, like from like Iron Man. I know like what has been released in like what year, the like exact order, and I've been trying to keep that pace, but with this whole year they keep shuffling Black Widow around and like everything, so I'm just trying to memorize it, okay?
And they're making it difficult for you, you know. Speaking of the MCU, we're gonna go ahead and get into our weekly review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Dylan, you liked this show. What'd you think this week?
10 out of 10. I think it was
10 out of 10.
I think it was the best episode so far. I really like. Well, first before I start, spoilers.
Spoilers for this episode 3. Yes. If you haven't seen it yet, don't listen to this. Skip ahead. One thing I've been wanting to mention is I've been putting time codes in the podcast and in the YouTube. So if anybody wants to just like skip around, like go to the bottom, there's little numbers. It'll say, hey, I just want to go look at the Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't care about you guys talking about the Bermuda Triangle. You just go click that little button and it'll take you over there and you can just watch that part.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So I don't know. I really loved seeing. It was like, it kind of felt like the Winter Soldier vibes I got, like where it was kind of like, it was like this cool espionage. They're trying to like make it in this like dangerous city, trying to figure out who made the super soldier serum, the new super soldier serum, you know, and they had to recruit, you know, their old frenemy, Zemo.
Just enemy. He's not really a friend.
He's enemy, but you know, in this episode, he was kind of friendly. He seemed like a, you know, seemed kind of like a nice guy in this one, even though he murdered a bunch of people. So, but I liked seeing that espionage type feel to it, you know,
the political thriller feel. Of like Winter Soldier.
It very, very much had it. And then I liked seeing this side of Zemo, because we never, the first time we saw him in Civil War, you know, he was very much, I gotta destroy the Avengers, I gotta take him out. And in this one,
he's a real jerk.
And in this one, it was cool because, you know, their needs and wants kind of like aligned up, where like Sam and Bucky wanted to, you know, stop the new super soldiers, and Zemo hates, you know, any kind of super being, so they're like, hey, let's just team up and do this together. And
that made a lot of sense. I liked the way that like the reason for him teaming up with them made a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I really liked this episode. I thought it was awesome.
It was really cool.
I thought it was really cool. All the anytime that Bucky is just being the Winter Soldier, like I wish we could get more of that, of him just being like this like killing machine, because he's just so cool and he's just so like, he just tears into people. That was all cool. What was the name of the city that they went to?
Madripoor.
That place was cool.
You know, it's really,
it's like Blade Runner.
It's so awesome because in the comics, I believe Madripoor is like really heavily associated with like the X-Men and all that. And so before Disney had that like merger with Fox, you know, where they acquired the X-Men and all that stuff, they wouldn't have been able to use it. They would not have been able to.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
So since they got it, they were able to use it, and I think it fits so perfectly because it's such a crazy,
that place
lawless.
Was really cool.
It's such a crazy lawless like town, and so like, and you know, is really cool to see like that aspect. And I agree, I do like seeing Bucky as the Winter Soldier, but I also like the moments that he has whenever he's. But I feel like they need to like, he needs his own maybe show. I think where like.
He has his own show. This is his show.
Look, I'm talking about like a flashback show where like
it's just him coming out of the ice, murdering people, and then going back in the ice every episode.
Well, I mean,
there's no story. It's just him murdering people.
I mean, what I think they could do, and is maybe, because I mean, Steve wasn't the only hero. You know, there's this huge gap, and I think it would be interesting is if they like focused on like. Maybe different heroes like Isaiah Bradley, you know, fighting the Winter Soldier. So like,
that'd be pretty cool.
So like each episode, like he gets defrosted and goes on a mission, and he's like going up against these like superheroes that like history has forgot and like nobody knows about, you know.
Yeah.
And you kind of see like that, because I think that would be an interesting way to set up maybe like future
That's like
projects.
A really cool. I would totally watch that, of just like a throwback like show of like, what if it was like them fighting through the decades and stuff?
Yeah, like so
decade
like,
hopping.
So like we could see like Isaiah Bradley in his prime fighting, you know, and like, you know, we just see other heroes like that. But getting back to
season finale, we get to see like Black Widow, like whenever she encountered the Winter Soldier.
Exactly. But
oh man, Dylan, let's go pitch this to Disney.
But getting back to the episode, I was really blown away by it. I loved that we got to see Sharon Carter again.
Okay, so I really like Sharon Carter. I thought it was really convenient that she was there. Like she just like showed up like, oh yeah, I know you guys. Yeah, I happen to be in this city too.
I love whenever she was like, they're like, what happened to you? And then she's like, I stole the shield to save your ass so he could save his ass from his ass, and she's just like basically read him all of the rights. Like, I'm on the run because of you three morons.
I think it's ridiculous that she's even on the run still. Like, there was a blip where like half the do you think that they probably lost track of that? I think you'd be good to go home.
I think probably, but I don't know.
I mean, everybody else is running free. Why would Sharon Carter be the only one who's like, oh yeah, you're still not allowed?
Because the government in that show is just weird. They just have some weird rules, okay? Like, I don't know.
Maybe it's because she's the only one that's not like a superhero who could like literally just beat them up if...
Like, I mean, maybe.
Like, they can't really stop the other people, but her, they can stop.
But watching this episode, I also really wanted a series for Sharon Carter. I wanted her to have her own series.
She beat some people up, man.
She took like...
It was like ridiculous.
10, it was like 10 to 15 people out, and then she like came and she's like, "Hey, we gotta go. It's starting to get a little too much."
Why
for me.
wasn't like Bucky out there helping her? Like, Jesus, like she's just a normal human being, and you guys are like, it's not like you need all three of you there to ask him questions. Like, somebody go help her. She's getting shot at.
I think they were anticipating him to be a little bit more menacing, and then like they just walk in and it's just like this quirky nerdy guy. Yeah. But also, I mean, whenever you got Zemo around, it's probably good that you have somebody to back you up. I mean, because if it was just Sam in there, he probably could have, handled his own. But I mean,
I did like, I liked seeing Zemo again. Zemo's so like weird. I loved his, I don't know if I loved it. His coat is just so ridiculous.
I wanted to buy it after I saw the episode. I was like, I feel like I could have the drip like him.
They're like, they're like, we didn't know you were rich or whatever. He's just like, I used to be royalty.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. And he's basically threw that all away. He threw that all away just so he could take out the Avengers. Like, I don't know.
I don't like his mask. I think it's just a reason for him to put on his mask. It looks goofy.
It needs to be glued to his face.
I know you want it burned into his skin.
Look, I like comic accuracy, okay, but I also, it's pretty cool. I like the mask. It's interesting.
I think if they made it look good, it would.
I think it'd be cooler. I think it'd be cooler if they had like some like whites in the eyes, and they're like like how Iron Man has
Deadpool?
The heads up. Yeah, but like inside, it's like a.
It's just too bulky.
Display,
it's like a big old helmet.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe if it like does get burned into his face and it looks more like how Red Scully is, where it's like actually like nice and like pressed up. Like, I think that would look cool. But that would take some moolah.
They'd have to explain it pretty well too in the story.
Falcon is just this like Falcon's kind of. It's tough for Falcon when he's not in an area where he could fly around. Like, I was really worried for Sam that whole time. I was like, this guy's just normal. Like, he's going to get shot. Like, I'm telling you, can we please get Sam an Iron Man suit? Like, I'm just scared for the guy.
He held his own. I think he did a pretty good job.
I think Sharon held her own.
I love whenever he got that phone call from his sister, and he's just like trying to play it off. Like,
he's like, laundered a lot of money at that bank.
yeah, and then like, then his cover gets blown, and they're all just like, okay, what are we gonna do now? But overall, like I said, really love this episode. I really want a series focusing on Sharon Carter and maybe like her time, like right now on the run, and like what she did, like after the events of Civil War, like maybe cut in some flashbacks.
I would dig the throwback series that you just pitched. I like that idea.
I don't know. Maybe if we get enough listeners, they'll
we'll just like throw that over there.
Just be like, hey.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
It's definitely not how it works at all.
At the end of the episode, so do you think Sharon's like kind of? Who is she working for, do you think? I kind of have a feeling she's working for the power broker.
It kind of felt like that, but at the same time, it kind of felt like she was very much her own,
Because she got into
boss.
a car with somebody.
Yeah, she did. But I don't know if, like, maybe that person is just working for her. Because we saw, like she said, she's like, she had to hustle. Like, she became a hustler.
She's like stealing like art and stuff.
Yeah. So she became a hustler. So maybe that person was just her driver, her valet, and maybe. She's just that. What if Sharon is the power broker?
Oh, I like that. Well, no, I don't think that makes sense because Zemo knew who the power broker was before he went to jail. right?
Before he went to jail, but then there's a 5-year gap and a blip.
Oh, maybe like she became the
chaos.
power broker later on.
Yeah, so maybe
that'd be pretty cool. I like that. I like that theory, Dylan. That's a good theory.
I mean,
you heard it here first.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm just saying. You know.
And then at the end,
what about the ending? We saw.
Yeah, we got her name was that the Dora Milaje chick?
Yeah. Her name is I'm not sure how to say Ayo.
I think you're right.
Ayo.
Yeah.
And dude, I thought that was cool.
We're gonna have some Wakandans hunting down Zemo now that he's out.
I really like that twist. I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, whoa.
The whole ending, I was waiting for someone to pop up just because they made it feel like someone that we knew, or I was waiting for some other Avenger to pop up or something.
Something was gonna happen, because when Bucky was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a walk," and then the moment you saw the little bead, from Wakanda, I was like, okay. I'm running down my mind. I'm like, sadly, we won't see, T'Challa.
Dude, I was just thinking that. I was thinking, man, that would have been so sweet if it had been T'Challa.
Yeah, it would have been so amazing.
I wonder if they planned that originally.
I mean, maybe. It's hard to say.
I guess we'll see going forward.
And then, so then my mind was like, okay, is it going to be Shuri? Is it going to be Okoye? Is it going to be Nakia? Who is it going to be? But I like that it was her. I like that it was Ayo. I'm still not sure how to say it.
I just know that it's a chick from the Dora Milaje. That's all I know.
I think it's cool that it was her. Because I saw something saying that maybe they gave her that role and she'll have a little bit more presence in there, because now that Ryan Coogler is doing the Wakandan series, we'll probably see her. So this is giving us more of a chance, because the only time we've really seen her is that little brief section in Civil War, and then a few parts in Black Panther.
I'd like to see a Daniel Kaluuya led Wakanda series.
I agree. Although cool. I'm kind of curious, because didn't he betray the?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know how that's gonna. But
he did it for the good of the.
That's true.
That's the country,
Were they forgiven though? I'm so curious, because
I don't know. They didn't really say.
Because technically Killmonger, he did win, because T'Challa was
it's true.
Basically dead.
It's
so
true.
They were following.
It's not his fault.
They were following the will of the king. But then whenever T'Challa came back and the fight still wasn't technically finished after that, they're like, "Nah, forget you. We're still gonna go with this plan." So I don't know.
Where do you think that this series is going? I'm curious, because I'm not really sure. It doesn't feel like it's building towards something specific. I'm still kind of just this is halfway through, right? We're only getting 6 episodes, correct?
So we're halfway through. Okay. I've got a lot of theories for how they could do this. So,
do you want to save your theories for our next segment?
Yeah, I'll save it for that.
All right, then let's just hop in to our main topic for the evening. We are doing the future of the MCU.
Oh boy, this is my bread and butter right here.
Yeah, we're going to be talking everything that's coming up for Marvel movies, TV shows.
That's right.
We're going to be diving deep into theories, what we think is going to happen going forward, what we already know. And I think we should start off with where we are basically at right now, which is we just had WandaVision. A lot of stuff happened with that. I think the only thing in our WandaVision episode that we didn't really get to go into was possible theories for the future. So let's just start there. WandaVision ends with Wanda studying mystic arts. We got a Pietro in that from the X-Men universe. There's so much in WandaVision that feels like it could expand crazily into the future.
You can't forget the new form of Vision. Everybody calls White Vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
White boy Vision.
So I guess going from there, we obviously know Wanda's gonna show up in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. She's gonna be basically co-lead with Benedict Cumberbatch.
I am ecstatic for that.
It's gonna be great. It's so exciting to think of. Sam Raimi is just gonna. He's a
wacky guy.
he's gonna blow our minds with it, I think. But so let's see, where can it go? I mean,
so she has like the Darkhold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think that like multiverse, we're gonna start seeing like her like. Do you think that she's gonna get like trained by Doctor Strange?
I think so. I
wonder how that's gonna start.
I think she's like learning on her own right now, and then she's probably in Multiverse of Madness. They'll meet up somehow, you know.
I'd be willing to bet that she like going through the Darkhold, she gets kind of into stuff that she probably isn't supposed to be doing.
And then Doctor Strange
has to show up and be like, "Hey,
he's like,
yo,
hey,
stop it."
He's like, "This is not what you're supposed to do." And then, you know, the chaos happens. And then, you know, they figure it out. They stumble through it. They work it out. And then afterwards, Doctor Strange is like, "Let me help you. Look, we can learn together, you know? There's some stuff you might know. There's some stuff I might know."
Okay, this is the plot, I think, for Multiverse of Madness. It starts off, you know, you get Doctor Strange, see what he's been doing recently, and then we cut to Wanda messing with the Darkhold, and then she accidentally like rips open a portal into the multiverse, and then the multiverse starts going crazy, and Doctor Strange shows up, and he's like, "Stop it, chill," and then they have to like go on this adventure to help fix it or whatever. Wait, is multiverse before or after Spider-Man?
It's after.
After Spider-Man. Because we know that there's going to be multiverse stuff in Spider-Man.
From what we've heard, yeah. So I'm curious to see how it's. So what if that's the first clue that something is amiss? What if that's just the first? Like, Doctor Strange doesn't do like. He probably helps fix the problem, but all these people start coming in from this different universes, and it's confusing. Spidey goes to Doctor Strange. They, you know, figure it out, and then that will lead into, you know, we see Doctor Strange and you know, Multiverse of Madness chilling, doing his thing, you know, and he's trying to figure out what exactly happened, you know, and you know, in the events that happened in the Spider-Man movie. And then
so what's your speculation about the Spider-Man movie? We have speculation or like rumors / confirmed stuff that like Tobey Maguire's gonna be in it, and that like Andrew Garfield's gonna be in it, and like all these past Spider-Mans are gonna be in it, so which automatically tells us, hey, we're going multiverse in this movie.
So I've maintained that my entire theory for the Spider-Man movie is, so at the end of Far From Home, you know, we know that his secret identity has kind of been exposed to the world.
Old J.K. Simmons.
So his identity's been exposed, but in the comics, he goes to Doctor Strange and he, you know, he helps him basically like mind wipe everybody in the world's, you know, mind that he was Spider-Man. So I think that he is probably gonna seek out Doctor Strange's help with this problem, and he's going to like do it. But I think maybe like as he does it, maybe like, I don't know, it's hard to say because, you know, Multiverse of Madness is filming like at the same time, so I don't know. But maybe,
do you think maybe they like cross over as far as like maybe happening at the same time?
I'm thinking it's a high possibility, but maybe as he like tries to wipe everybody's mind, Wanda on this, you know, at a different location in the world is messing with all this stuff.
Do you think Wanda's going to show up in Spidey?
I don't necessarily think that, but like I'm just saying, like they could explain it as like in like Multiverse of Madness as like when Doctor Strange was trying to help Spidey in that movie. We don't see her in the movie at all, but like at that same exact point in time, she's in a different location somewhere in the world, and she's messing with the Darkhold, and that like opens up the multiverse, and then that's like it messes up his. So I think we're both in agreement
that Scarlet Witch is going to have a big role in messing up the multiverse.
It's a given, yeah.
I think now that I think about it, maybe like it's kind of how I said with like how Wanda like messes up the multiverse, and then Doctor Strange has to help. Maybe she does that like in Spider-Man, and then like the Spider-Man people go on their own journey, and like they're not really messing with Doctor Strange or any of that. And then we get like, once we do watch Multiverse of Madness, then we get like that other viewpoint of like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch's journey. So maybe they are like taking place at the same time. I kind of like that.
It's like I think, you know, I think like she's definitely, because they, like I said, they kind of overlap. I feel like, because Doctor Strange is going to be in them both. We know that for sure. So I think yeah, we'll probably see like in Multiverse of Madness, like we'll see Wanda's viewpoint of like what's going on at that exact like moment in time, and like maybe she like opens up, you know, the multiverse right as Doctor Strange is trying to help him in Spider-Man No Way Home. And like that is what creates the like madness and confusion in the Spider-Man movie, while you know, all that's going on. And then like, you know, they'll get it figured out, and then it'll like go straight into, you know, Multiverse of Madness. And then,
dude, I'm just like so excited for all the multiverse stuff, because like
gonna be so
there's
great.
just so much they could do with it. Like even like you just think of like the little thing in WandaVision of Pietro showing up from the X-Men, and even just something like that just like got me all giddy. And even though that turned out to like
be like a throwaway,
be whatever, yeah. What was his name? Ralph Boner or something like that. Even though that turned out to be a throwaway, I mean, it just shows like the possibilities of what's going to go down.
I also think it's interesting that in WandaVision they included her kids, you know, and
that was one theory that I think. Did you talk about that in our WandaVision episode? That you were like, remember. Maybe she's like searching for ways to get her kids back.
Yeah, but it's definitely interesting because it's very apparent that they are building towards a Young Avengers cast, because so we have Tommy and Billy, who play Wiccan, and I forget his like superhero name. The fast one.
No idea.
I forget.
Mr. Speedy McSpeed.
I forget his name, but so
I think I got it.
They're part of the Young Avengers, and then in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, whenever in episode 2, whenever they went and visited Isaiah Bradley, we saw his grandson, who becomes the hero Patriot, and he gets like
Did not know that.
Yeah, he. I think his name's like Elijah Bradley, and he gets.
I think that's one thing with Marvel and like the MCU is there's a lot of routes that they could go, and I think it's just a matter of when they'll go there, because they definitely like I agree that they're setting it up.
They're setting it up. It's just a matter of when they're going to do it.
Yeah, I feel like we probably, if we do see that, it probably will be way down the line.
I don't know, because so like I said, we're getting Eli Bradley in there. I think that's his name, Elijah Bradley. And the Ant-Man Quantumania movie that's going to be coming out in the next few years, Scott Lang's daughter Cassie is supposed to have a more major prominent role in that, and she ends up becoming the superhero Stature, and she's able to, you know, basically change
Comics
her size.
are
just
so
like
goofy, man.
They really are.
Where everybody's kids become like superheroes.
So we're having here. So that's like 4 Young Avengers.
And then you got right what was it? Echo? You said that was like Hawkeye's daughter. She becomes a thing.
No, that's
is that something completely different?
Yeah, somebody completely different. But
Sorry.
that reminds me. So we also are getting Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld in the Hawkeye series. Another Young Avenger. Another Young Avenger. I've been, you know, seeing like rumors that I think her name is
maybe Spidey just becomes like maybe the Young Avengers happen and Spidey just becomes their leader. You know, the whole idea of Young Avengers and like Teen Titans and stuff like that, man, what a terrible idea. Because like these are children. You're not going to have a team of these children going and fighting stuff. Like that's horrible.
These are kids, and we're just having them just like, hey, can you like solve this for me?
That's like not good. I don't think that they should do that. I think that's where like whenever you talk about, like, obviously the Marvel universe is very not, it doesn't stay with reality all the time, you know, like it is pretty out there at times, but I think once you start having a bunch of kids like fighting people, that's where I'm start to be like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. I mean, Spider-Man's already like, he's like, what, 17? He's getting to a point where he can make his own decisions, but I mean, come on, Tony.
Yeah, so they're building towards it, and Miss America is her name. I've heard she's supposed to be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as well. So, and then we have, you know, Kamala Khan, you know, Miss Marvel.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. That comes out late 2021.
So I think they're definitely building toward a young. Oh, and not to mention, there have been rumors that they are. I'm not sure if it's currently casting or have casted an MCU version of Miles Morales. I've seen there's so many rumors with Spider-Man that it's just like it's so hard to keep track.
It's so hard to keep track.
There was one report I saw like a couple weeks ago where it was like they're looking to like divide the Spider-Man franchise, like still keep it in the MCU, but like so they'll have like two Spider-Men. One will be like Peter Parker continuing his journey like through college, and now this is stuff, so this is like a huge rumor. I don't know how much of it's true. So they're hoping to like continue his journey, but they also like want to start Miles's journey in the MCU, so there will be like two, you know, different Spider-Man. So I'm curious if that turns out to be true, you know, but definitely building towards a Young Avengers movie, which would be really interesting. Oh, also we forgot Ironheart. She's like a young. She's young,
like Tony Stark, basically, right?
Yeah, she's like, I think she's smarter than Tony, actually. She's like 14 years old.
I mean, look, Tony's pretty stupid, so it's not hard.
she's like 14-year-old girl, Riri Williams, and she built her own Iron Man armor. 14 years old. I mean, you gotta be pretty smart.
Yeah, so that's one like big thing of where the future of the MCU could be going. I feel like there's, in my mind, looking at the slate going forward, I feel like there are like two main paths that I think it's gonna go on for like the near future. I think it's gonna go like the WandaVision path, which I think is gonna be multiverse crazy stuff, and then I think there's like the Falcon and Winter Soldier path, which is going to be more like the Secret Invasion type stuff. I think you're going to have like these two, like you're going to have mystical, and you're going to have like the still like political, I guess you would say. It's like
grounded in reality.
Yeah, more of the grounded in reality stuff, because I think Falcon and Winter Soldier, like it's so weird going from WandaVision to Falcon and Winter Soldier, because Falcon and Winter Soldier is so like different, like tonally and just like, but I love it. And it's just like more of an action movie type thing, and I think we're gonna get a lot more of that with like Secret Invasion type stuff.
It's hard to say, because like, so
are there three where it's like cosmic, mystic, and grounded?
Yeah, it's really hard to say, because we got the mystical elements with WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and all that, and then, you know, we have like scientific type stuff like Ant-Man, Quantumania, the quantum realm, going in that realm. Fantastic Four.
That'll have to do with multiverse stuff, though.
I'm curious too, because
because that might factor into that.
Yeah, so and then, you know, we'll have the Fantastic Four coming eventually, which will be, you know, cosmic. Blade is on the horizon with vampires, and I'm so excited for that. Vampires.
I think some of these things might not factor into the overall arcs that they're trying to build as much. Like, I don't think Blade would have too much to do with it. I don't think that, like, but something like Captain Marvel 2, like that's gonna be heavily connected to like the Secret Invasion type stuff. Shang-Chi, I feel like that, I don't know, that kind of lies on the mystic, but I don't know, it's kind of in between. I feel like
I'm so incredibly excited for Shang-Chi, not just because like it's gonna be so cool to see. I watched Kim's Convenience, the Canadian TV show where
no idea what that is.
So it's a Canadian TV show, and it's where the actor who's going to play Shang-Chi, his name is God. I hope I don't butcher it.
You're about to butcher this.
I am about to.
It's like
Simu Lee. I don't know. I really don't want to butcher his name. Simu Lee. But so he was really great in that show, and so I'm excited to see him in the MCU. But not just that, we're gonna see the Mandarin.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the Ten Rings stuff. Like, I'm excited for like, I want to see some Fin Fang Foom. I want to see some like crazy like mystic arts mixed with like what we hoped we saw with like Iron Fist and just didn't. I want to see like this just be like crazy mystical, but with your fists.
That was very sad. I'm sad that it could have been so good. It could have been, but man. But so it's going to be so interesting, I think, to see that happen and come to fruition.
Yeah. So as far as what else we got? We got Loki. Loki is going to be
time travel, alternate realities.
That's
stuff.
Multiverse. Like, I bet he's probably going to get sucked into the main timeline once all the multiverse stuff happens.
At some point, probably, yeah.
He'll probably end up in Thor: Love and Thunder. I think Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be its own thing, to be honest.
It's going to be bonkers. It's going to be.
I think that was just... Well, actually, no. That'll probably have multiverse stuff, too, because that's supposed to have Natalie Portman as Thor.
Yeah, and how's that going to work if Mjolnir was destroyed?
So, I feel like I think a lot of this is connected to just, like, multiverse stuff. And luckily, like, that's what I'm most excited for. I'm a lot less excited for like Skrull Secret Invasion stuff, and I'm more excited for like multiverse craziness.
I'm excited for it all, man. I'm just like counting down the days till we see all of this stuff. I mean,
we have Eternals, which is probably going to be Secret Invasion-y, just because that's like, aren't Eternals like
they're like gods living among humans, pretty much.
Yeah. But they're space people, right?
Yeah, they're from the same planet as Thanos, I believe. And so, like, there's the Eternals, and then there's, like, the Deviants. And the Deviants are, like, the bad guys. I'm not really familiar with Eternals lore, but, I mean, that's kind of just,
I have no idea anything about Eternals. They're like how Guardians were when they first came out, where it was just like, who? But, I mean, we all love the Guardians now, so... I got faith that it'll be good.
I've always had faith. I remember whenever Guardians was first announced, and like I didn't know anything about them, and I was just like, I'm all for it. I was like, I believe in Marvel. I know what they're gonna do great.
It's just like wacky enough to be fun enough. When that first trailer dropped, it was like, yeah, all right, we're down.
I was like, I was in it on it. I was like for it like way before the trailer even dropped, and people were like, I don't know anything about the Guardians, it's probably gonna flop. And then that first trailer came out and everybody's like, I'm so here for the Guardians. It's like I had faith before. I was like, they know what they're doing, they have a plan, they're gonna do it and execute it well.
Yeah, it's so weird now that we're like post Infinity War and Endgame, because like we were building up towards... It's so weird to talk about the future of it, just because we were building up towards this one thing, and now that one thing happened, and it's over, and now what? It's just the Wild West. It's like they could do whatever the heck they want. Like,
yeah, but it's pretty clear they are definitely focusing on the multiverse aspect of it, and like I said, I'm excited for it. I mean, I thought we were gonna go like down the line the movies that are coming out, but
I thought we were too. But honestly, just because we like jumped around, because I mean, it's so hard not to talk about because like with WandaVision, like how do we not go from that straight into Doctor Strange and the multiverse? What do you think, dude? Multiverse of Madness is just gonna be so insane.
It's gonna be bonkers.
I hope it's just like literally you get to see. We haven't even talked about like X-Men type stuff and how that's gonna factor in, and like Fantastic Four, because I feel like that's where it's gonna start. Right?
Let's do it. You know, I was really hoping that this episode wouldn't be longer than like an hour and a half, but like we could spend like a whole day talking about this stuff and barely like cover the surface, I feel like.
So let's talk X-Men. Where do you think X-Men's gonna factor in on all this?
Oh boy. I am starting to think that as Wanda messes with the realities, it's going to cause some things to, I think, merge. So I think she's going to mess with it enough that realities might start collapsing, I guess, or something like that.
I think that like multiverse. I feel like Multiverse of Madness is probably where I would be willing to bet that Multiverse of Madness has X-Men in it.
Yeah, so like my thing is like, I think maybe she'll like, since she's so powerful, I think she'll like be messing with reality enough that different universes might start collapsing, and in an attempt to like maybe save it, she starts combining, because like this kind of happens in like some of the comics for Marvel, but like there's like multiple universes that are in danger
like world,
of like
whatever, like Earth 34 or whatever.
Yeah, and they're like in danger of both being annihilated if like one doesn't come out on top, and like I think it gets solved by like the Earths combining, and so that is like how, like in some of the comics, Peter and Miles are both able to exist and be Spider-Man.
Yeah, because in the comics they started off as like just like separate, different universe. Miles Morales never met Peter. Wait, did he meet Peter Parker in the original?
He met like Peter whenever Peter was like,
but Peter like died or something like that.
Right? Yeah, something like that. So like I think she is going to be messing with it enough, and it's going to at some point start to collapse. And so in an attempt to save people, she starts combining universes, and like maybe, and it starts rewriting things, and so maybe that's whenever we see the mutants and the mutant gene.
So you think like that creates mutants? You don't think it's like mutants are in a different multiverse and like maybe they just come in later?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they could exist in a different universe, you know, and then as things are being destroyed and she's trying to save universes by like combining them, she like rewrites the reality so that the mutants then technically existed on that Earth, you know?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Marvel really messed with my head by putting.
They really did.
By putting what's his face as Quicksilver, because like now I like
it just raises so many questions.
Are they gonna do like, because we know that Deadpool 3 is happening. We know that that's gonna be like part of the MCU now. So that tells me that like, and with like the Quicksilver thing, that I think that they're going to like factor in all of like the old X-Men movies as far as just like being like it was a different multiverse. I think those people are going to come in to our multiverse.
That's what I'm trying to say. So like, she's going to rewrite reality because she's basically got that power. They said she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So like the Fox X-Men movies, you know, those characters exist on one, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the MCU, right? And so like maybe the X-Men universe starts to collapse and she's like trying to save everybody. So she's just like jump
ship.
So she tries to like combine the two and then rewrites reality and makes it so that they existed, you know, in everybody else's minds they existed. And we just like, again, just rewrites the entire MCU fabric. And
I don't even know if they have to, I don't even know if she has to rewrite people's minds. Like I feel like I think in the regular world that would happen, But I mean, they've already had a blip. Like half of the universe has already disappeared and come back. I mean, they're dealing with that. I mean, they can deal with whatever.
She doesn't have to rewrite people's minds, but she can make it so that like maybe Charles and Magneto existed in like the 60s, you know, in this universe and all that. So she like rewrites the fabric. I don't know. She can do that.
I personally think that they literally have an X-Men movie or like X-Men movies in their back pocket that they're just not putting on this slate, and I think that they're gonna be coming like sooner rather than later, just because I think that like once this stuff happens, like let's say like in Multiverse of Madness, they'll announce like, oh yeah, so you know how Charles was in that, well guess what, X-Men movie 2023.
There was a report that came out a couple months ago that was saying like an X-Men movie is in the works and it's going to be titled like Mutants or whatever. And I don't know like how, you know, believable or, you know, great the source was, but I mean, it's definitely, they're going to have to announce it probably, right after, you know, Multiverse of
I'm saying, so I'm just saying like they've announced stuff like way into the future. Like I wouldn't be surprised if X-Men show up like in the middle of all this, and then more gets announced like in between all these things that are going down. So do you think it's gonna be like the same X-Men from the Fox universe, or do you think they're gonna make their own X-Men?
I hope they make their own X-Men.
You want new cast, new people. Just forget all the other stuff.
Not all of them. I do. Ryan Reynolds is obviously going to be Deadpool. Great.
Yeah, the weird thing about Deadpool is he's kind of in his own universe from the Fox universe. Like they haven't really said exactly like how that works, because like there's like a different Colossus in that universe from what was in X-Men. So maybe it's like his universe gets pulled over, and that because that would allow like for new X-Men to come in, just like from his universe, just because we haven't seen like the X-Men in what the X-Men are in his universe.
I mean, we saw a brief like cameo from like Quicksilver.
Yeah, so we saw that. So I know we saw that, too. But I also think that was just kind of like
it was just a fun like
it was just like tongue in cheek, like it's break the fourth wall, like But I don't know if that means that they're in the same universe.
I definitely like that a little bit more because I mean. Oh man, the Fox X-Men movies are just
some are really good, some are really bad. It's just kind of all over the place. I don't know if they would want to associate themselves as far as just like that being canon now, as far as like MCU stuff goes.
I would not want any of those actors. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them did really good, some of them were
I would love some Michael really Fassbender as Magneto in the MCU. I'll tell you what.
I would too, but man, the Fox X-Men movies, they're just because so like starting from like First Class and then
so like the new when they rebooted quote unquote the X-Men.
Yeah, because it was supposed to all go into like the Michael or the Bryan Singer like 2000 movies, because they did that at the end of Days of Future Past.
Yeah, Days of Future Past, like they cross over.
Then why in Dark Phoenix, which was an awful movie, nobody should ever.
You can't ask me.
Nobody ever watched that movie. Okay, but it was awful.
I'll watch it one day, probably, maybe.
You're gonna roast the heck out of it because it's bad. But why did Charles and Magneto are supposed to be like 60s and 70s, and they don't look it at all. They still look like they're
supposed to be old, like super old
because
Dark Phoenix?
it's like 1990, right? It's like that's when Dark Phoenix takes place, and they were like what?
They were around like
they were 10
Cold War.
They were in like 10 whenever World War II was happening. Yeah. So like they were born in like the 1930s, right? So they should be like
80.
They should be at least like 60, okay? And if they're supposed to look like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, they did not do a good job. They still look like they were like 30.
Honestly, don't even care just because I like them so much.
I mean, I love them too, but I mean, they just like the inconsistency with the Fox X-Men movies is just all over the place. That's what I'm trying to point out, but I definitely think they should hire some new blood, okay? Hire some, talented younger people to be these characters,
I'm like in between. I feel like the whole reveal in WandaVision got me excited for the possibility of that crossing over. But also, like, in my head, a lot of what you're saying as far as just like getting it becomes muddy if you bring those people in, just because even that canon in their universe is so funky. So figuring out the canon there would be tough to do. And maybe you could do like both. Maybe you could have
some from that universe, the ones that were good,
and then some that are just like new, because honestly, unfortunately we're not going to have like T'Challa anymore going forward, but I was like super excited for like Storm to like play a factor in the Wakanda stuff.
I was too,
because she becomes like his wife or whatever.
I
was excited for that. So I don't know. I'm like in between as far as like, I think I would rather them make their own new X-Men, but maybe like those other ones still exist.
Pick and choose the best actors to be in the new X-Men movie.
Wait, say that again? We do an episode where we choose?
No. They should pick and choose the best actors from the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Like Evan Peters. Yep. The guy who played Beast, yep.
The guy who played Beast,
Nicholas Hoult. They're just like
Michael Fassbender, yep.
James McAvoy, yep. And then there's just
J-Law, nah. I like J-Law. I just don't like her in that role.
She was not. I didn't like her as Mystique either. Although I also didn't like. I like Mystique as like the badass lone wolf, kind of thing she had going in the comics, where like she could be a good guy sometimes, and then sometimes she could just stab you in the back. She kind of does her own thing. Yeah, she's just like, she just picks and chooses when she wants to do good and when she wants to be, bad.
Yeah. But I can't wait to hear what Deadpool has to say about all this, because that he's gonna comment on the multiverse and the Fox merger, and
it's gonna be great.
I mean, God, the amount of content you can get out of that.
It's going to be great. Oh, man. What about
Fantastic Four?
I'm so excited for it.
When do you think that's going to factor in? Do they have a date as far as like when, or is that unknown?
It's still unknown, but I mean, John Watts, the guy who has been writing and directing the Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland, is going to be in charge of it, and I am behind him 100%. I have no doubts that he'll find a way. And like, we got to give credit to Kevin Feige for being able to do all this, because I mean, he's just a mastermind at this stuff.
It's pretty insane that all this is happening. It really is.
It really is. I mean, it's cuckoo bananas. It's cuckoo bananas.
You know what I want to see? Just because they're already doing it with other stuff, I want to see like Chris Evans as Human Torch pop up, and like I want to see those movies I want those movies factored in at some point.
Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch too.
I want all, just like any superhero movie that's ever come out, just like put it in, like screw it. It's part of the multiverse.
Anything goes in the multiverse of madness there,
And honestly, like,
it could work. It could, yeah.
I want to see Jessica Alba as
Invisible
Woman again. Man,
I'm really excited to see the Fantastic Four, because they got some good content and good villains. Galactus. We might see the Silver Surfer finally at some point in
And that would be like a really big. That would be like a big Avengers movie of like Galactus coming and Silver Surfer, and
because
that would be huge. Like, because of the scale of it.
Yeah, and there was that cartoon Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes in like the 2010s. It's like our favorite.
Yeah,
it's like our favorite version, because it was just like so well done. They did like scrolls, and like at the very end
that
of the
show is basically how I learned like everything I know about Marvel. Like, I didn't read that many comics. I literally watched that show. at the end of it, at the end of the show, they did Galactus, and he had like, instead of just like the normal like one Herald. Yeah, Herald, he had like 4. Yeah. So it in a way it's kind of like how Thanos was, but like
he is like literally just coming to take your world. And so yeah, having like the Avengers, the new Avengers, mutants, Fantastic Four, all of them like come together, that would be so cool to see.
Okay, so one thing that's not on the slate is an Avengers 5, right? We're on 5 now.
It's gonna happen at some point.
What do you think Avengers 5 is, if you had to guess right now?
If I had to guess right now,
what is like the storyline for Avengers 5? What's it about?
Man, I don't even know, because we say that they're all over the place with what they're doing with the multiverse and then like political stuff. But they have it figured out. So it's
they have a plan. We just have to piece it together.
We're gonna start a conspiracy board, like just like. Okay.
Every week we'll add stuff. So this got added. This got announced today. That means that this connects to this. I'm sure people do that.
Just like, Bucky went to the bathroom in this episode for 5 minutes. Okay, so what does that mean?
That means toilets in Avengers 5. Okay,
it's just like, okay. Oh, God, I'm just trying to think about it.
Personally, I think Avengers 5 is gonna have Wanda as the villain, and it's gonna be like Avengers versus Wanda. She's off her chain. She's literally just super powerful. Don't know how she got to that point. That's just what I think.
I don't know, because we know that they're taking a break from. I mean, the new Avengers movie. That could definitely happen. That's not going to be as big, but it'd still be kind of big. But like an Avengers, with like Brie Larson and Tom Holland and all of those guys. It's just so crazy to think of what it could be about, because if they're introducing Fantastic Four, we could have.
But do you think they just go like slugging like right out of the? See, I don't think that they're gonna go like Galactus right off the.
No, that's
like, I think that they're gonna start building up again, and I think that's Scarlet Witch would be a big. That would be a big event of her being the villain, and like just with how powerful she is.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because so you have Galactus, you have Annihilus from the Fantastic Four, great villains. Takes a lot to beat him. You got Kang the Conqueror is going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania, and he's like, he messes with time travel a lot. He's like put up quite a bit of, but then you also got Secret Invasion, which I hope to God that they're going to introduce Super Skrulls and like.
So do you think Secret Invasion is, because they're doing a Secret Invasion TV show, do you think that they're going to do like Secret Invasion Avengers, like as like a main like Avengers thing?
You know what? I think that's probably the most likely possibility.
So you think Avengers 5 Secret Invasion
tie-in, where like, and like, so the.
I think multiverse tie-in for Avengers 5.
I mean, it's just so crazy, because like there's so much they can do, and if when they introduce the X-Men, there's a whole
X-Men versus Avengers. That'd be sick movie.
There's a whole comic about the Avengers versus X-Men, and it's because the Phoenix Force is coming back, and it's trying to find a new host and one of the mutants, and the Avengers want to take this mutant to like protect her and try to fight the Phoenix, and then the mutants were like on the verge of extinction in this point in the comic, and so they wanted to use the Phoenix to like rebuild the mutant population or whatever. So it's just crazy, but I think they're not going to go Galactus right off the bat. I think
if you had to bet money, what would it be?
I think heightening the Kree and I'm going to change it. I think it's going to be not just
Dylan, just pick something.
It's not going to it's going to focus on the more cosmic side, and not just the Skrulls and the Kree, but like in the X-Men there's like the Shire Empire or whatever, who are also like,
and they are doing like Eternals and stuff, so that would make sense.
I think it's going to be like some cosmic craziness.
I do think I don't think it's going to happen until like at least like 2024, maybe 2025. We're gonna have Guardians Volume 3, 2022 or 2023.
2023.
Yeah, so that's obviously like cosmic side. Is the Thor stuff factoring into the Guardians movie? The next Guardians movie?
I think the Guardians just show up in Thor: Love and Thunder because he goes off with them. Yeah, because he goes off with them in the end of. Yeah, so I think he's just gonna. They're just gonna like make a cameo and like drop him back off at Earth.
That'd be lame.
Or something. I don't know. Because we saw that like he lost his belly. Thor lost his like belly. He's and ripped stuff.
Again. We saw set photos for Love and Thunder.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but it's just so hard to pin down what they're gonna do because it just everything covers a wide variety. I mean,
hey, we're here to speculate. That's what we're doing on this podcast.
If we want to get into speculating, do you wanna like toss out some stuff that maybe you would like to see? Some like not just like that, but like maybe is there like some character like Silver Surfer you want to see a series from, or like some obscure
like news, like stuff that they don't have planned yet.
Yeah, so like Disney, like how I just pitched my like Winter Soldier
storylines and stuff.
Like how I just pitched my Winter Soldier.
Dylan, you're catching me off guard here. I don't really know. I do. One thing I really do want to see is, like how I already said, I want to see Storm like be factored in with the Wakanda stuff. I think that would be really cool. Obviously, I want to see. I really want to see like an Avengers versus X-Men. I think that would be really cool. That's probably going to happen if I had to bet money. Galactus would be cool. There's not like any like little stuff that I can think of that like I really want to see. Black Panther 2. I'm excited to see. I think that we think that his sister's going to become Black Panther, right? That Shuri's going to be Black Panther. I'm totally excited for that. I think that she's awesome. So
yeah. One thing that I really want to see with like a Black Panther series. So like in Marvel's Avengers Assemble, that cartoon, and in the comics,
I've heard of it.
They and they've kind of alluded to this with Bucky, but there is a character called the White Wolf who gets adopted by T'Challa and Shuri's family. And I mean, the comics is like some white guy and his like plane went down like in Wakanda or something like that, and his parents died, and so they took him in, and he's given kind of like a suit like T'Challa's. I'm not sure if it's made of vibranium or if it's just like this like cool white wolf suit. And one thing that I think would be interesting is if like maybe they toyed around with that, because
with, like Bucky going back to Wakanda and stuff.
Well, no, not
or just
not
a completely
Bucky.
Different person.
Well, yeah, maybe the White Wolf is like a mantle for
any white people that go to Wakanda.
Well, not just white people, but like refugees that maybe they take in. Like maybe it's like the clan of the White Wolf or something like that, and it's like refugees they take in. And I think it would be cool to see like their adopted brother again. I don't want him to be white. Make him like make him something else. I'm tired of white people. Just
You're here to hear first, people. Dylan's tired of white people.
Not like that, but like if you're gonna make a movie set in Wakanda,
yeah, don't make it about a white guy. That'd be bad.
Yeah, I mean like it kind of made sense with the Ross guy in the first one, but I don't want to see make it something cool without
them pale skin mofos.
You get what I mean, okay? But so I think it'd be cool if maybe they did like it's the clan of the White Wolf who's like adopted by like the royal family or something like that. And
I'll tell you, I don't think that they're gonna do that just because I think they already did White Wolf with Bucky.
Yeah. I don't think that either.
I did like in Falcon Winter Soldier. I think it was last week, and
whenever he called him the White Panther, and he's like, it's the White Wolf,
and he's like, what?
But I mean, I think that would be interesting because like their adopted brother in the comics is kind of like he's kind of like a thief. So like he kind of runs the like he kind of walks the line of being like a bad guy and sometimes, and then like good guy and sometimes. So like they probably won't do it, but I think it'd be interesting if like they did have an adoptive brother who like has the mantle and has like a suit like that, and he's kind of like their, the one that they don't really talk about, but like,
I know that you've been wanting you want like a Nova.
I want Nova so bad.
You want it so bad. So I have a pitch for Nova. You ready to hear my pitch for Nova?
What?
So in Guardians of the Galaxy, John C. Reilly.
We've talked about this bit right here. We've kind of talked about it. You want him to like actually run the show, right?
I want to see a John C. Reilly led Nova series or movie where it's just complete comedy. He becomes Nova. It has nothing to do with the comics at all.
I don't want that.
It's just him like being goofy and a big old John C. Reilly just like running around as Nova. I think it'd be really entertaining.
I think there's a couple of different things I think that they should do. One is they should definitely do like movie series on like the Richard Rider version of Nova and like make it take place in like the 70s or 80s, because he was like one of the first human Nova Corps members. So like they could do that and maybe cast like Diego Luna, I think would be really cool as like Richard Rider. Make it take place in like the 70s, 80s, something like that. And then they could do like, so that could be a movie series, and then they could do a Disney Plus show for Sam Alexander. And what I think they could do is, since Xandar got blown up, maybe they have...
I hope John C. Reilly didn't get blown up on that planet. I'll tell you what.
Hear me out. So maybe like because Sam Alexander's dad was a member of the Nova Corps, right? And then he like goes missing, and so like Sam finds his helmet, and at the same time,
and
like
was John C. Reilly was his dad.
No, at the same time, like John C. Reilly like crash lands in the Arizona desert, and like he trains Sam.
To mentor him.
Yeah, he like trains Sam how to use it, and then then Sam like goes off and he like tries to look for his dad as he like traverses the universe.
That sounds pretty cool, Dylan. Almost as cool as John C. Reilly being Nova, and just like he's like bursting out of his suit. I wouldn't like take it seriously. See his belly a little bit.
They would never do it. They would never do it. I also want to see Beta Ray Bill. I have like a whole list of
I would bet money Beta Ray Bill is gonna pop up in Love and Thunder.
I would love to see it, honestly.
I think it's gonna happen.
Russell Crowe just got casted in that movie, and
what do you think is gonna happen in Love and Thunder? We haven't talked about Love and Thunder yet at all.
Man,
there's a lot we still haven't talked about.
It's gonna be. Maybe we should make this like a 2-part episode.
Maybe.
And start to just.
But yeah, Love and Thunder is supposed to be like, it's supposed to have Natalie Portman as Thor in it. It's supposed to
Jamie Alexander, I think, is supposed to come back as Lady Sif.
I think Christian Bale's like the villain in it.
Yeah,
correct?
he's gonna be Gore the God Butcher.
Whatever that is.
He butchers gods. That's fine.
That's all you need to know.
So you got it. You figured it out, right there.
Everybody is so like. Everybody's rightfully so excited for this movie just because like Taika killed it with Ragnarok,
and he's coming back for more.
It's literally called Thor: Love and Thunder. Like this is just gonna be ridiculously awesome.
Thor's like mystical goats are gonna be in the movie. What? Yeah, it just sounds crazy, but it's gonna be great.
Do we get Frog Thor? Call it now.
Man, I don't think in this one, but maybe in the future.
I would bet money that we get it in this one. You want to make a bet right now? Let's make a bet.
I don't
it's
know
on camera right now.
I don't know if I want to
one
bet.
slap. I get a slap if there's Frog Thor in Love and Thunder.
For those of you who don't know, Matt and I make slap bets like they do in How I Met Your Mother. And so far
he's got 2 on or 3 on me.
Yeah, so far I got like 3 on Matt, and I haven't used any of them, and I'm saving them up. So, boy,
come on, Dylan, let me earn back a slap.
Okay, all right. You know what?
I really hope Taika. I'm gonna message Taika.
We will make a slap bet. Okay, if he does, I think he won't put Frog Thor in there.
I think he will.
And so if he doesn't, I get 4. I get 4 slaps.
Yep, deal.
And I'll get
shake through the camera.
Here we go. So, God, Taika, don't put Frog Thor in there.
It's not even like you don't. It's not even like you'll get slapped. You just get one less slap.
What?
Or maybe you do get slapped.
What do you mean?
So I get to pick whether I want to take one of your slaps away or I get a slap.
You know, I'm fair for that. I'll be down to have just 2 slaps, but I really want a 4th slap to add to my repertoire. You never know whenever you're gonna need to slap somebody.
You need a slap, yeah.
I mean, Matt says some out of pocket stuff sometimes. Sometimes he talks bad about Captain America, and
you just gotta bust out a slap, you know.
Sometimes, yeah, you know, not hard or anything.
You'll probably have to use it on like the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier when I'm like, yeah, this show was pretty lame. Then you have to slap me through the camera.
It's just no, I'll fly out to Arizona.
You'll be like, be right back, and just take your headphones off and leave, and I'll be like, well, I guess I'll just finish the podcast. Hello, Dylan.
Use the Speed Force there, just. But yeah, oh man, Thor: Love and Thunder is gonna be crazy.
Yes, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. We already talked about Black Panther 2 a little bit. Captain Marvel 2. It's gonna factor into Secret Invasion probably. We have She-Hulk. We have a couple that are just like random new stuff. We have She-Hulk. We have Moon Knight.
I'm excited for Moon Knight.
Blade. We have Ironheart. We have Armor Wars.
I think Armor Wars is going to be great.
We have all these like little things that we know literally nothing about that are just. I don't think that they're going to factor in as much, but I'm definitely excited for like. I'm excited for like Miss Marvel that got like a little teaser already.
I think it's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited for Blade because just like the horror element,
semifinalists,
but the horror element that can like bring in, because look, I watch a lot of Marvel stuff, Marvel cartoons, and like in the ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, there's a point when he teams up with Blade, and Blade has like this team of like supernatural heroes. And I think it's cool. There's a precedent that's set with the cartoons. So like there's one that's called Werewolf by Midnight, and I just think it
does sound cool to like have like literally like werewolves and stuff like that.
Exactly.
In the Marvel universe. I mean that's just a whole other
and you know, it's
area that they could dive into.
We can have Dracula in the MCU.
Yeah, there's a Dracula in Marvel.
It's so cool. Like it just.
I don't know if I'd say it's cool. I'd say it's wacky and fun.
I think it's cool. I think it's absolutely cool. I want it all. I
think that our definition of cool is a lot different than what other people's definition of cool is, Dylan.
I mean, you're probably right, you know, but it's so cool nonetheless. I mean, this is something that, you know, they take time and effort and care and put it into all this stuff. You know, one thing we haven't talked about. Daredevil, Punisher.
Do we think that the Netflix shows are going to? There's been like some rumblings recently of some save Daredevil. Save these shows. I loved Daredevil. I loved Jessica Jones. Luke Cage was cool for like half the season. Didn't watch all of Iron Fist. That was a cool little universe. I would be excited to see Daredevil come back.
You never watched Punisher, did you?
Nope.
All right, so
I was checked out at that point.
That's going to take one of my slaps the next time I see Matt. So
yeah, I was checked out at that point. I was already like, all right, I think I'm done with this universe.
You're really missing out on it though. Like you should definitely.
I've heard it's great.
You should definitely.
It has 2 seasons.
Definitely go back and watch it, please. Please promise me that you will, because
one day.
It's not bad at all. It's pretty phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
John Bernthal, amazing, love him.
Yeah.
And but do you think that they will actually? I for one think that they probably will.
I think that they will bring Daredevil back. I bet Punisher will come back.
I think Daredevil, Punisher, and Jessica Jones. Those were like, I think their top 3.
I think that they'll all exist. I don't think that they'll use like, I think they'll use like Daredevil more than they'd use like they probably will be like, yeah, Iron Fist is there, and then he's just like not really talked about again.
I think they will bring back Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and the Punisher. I think they'll bring back those actors for those, you know, those performances, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Love that guy.
I think they'll bring back those because a lot of people, and the characters that are like involved, because a lot of people love those shows the most. Iron Fist, that one's kind of iffy. Season 1 was really disappointing. Season 2 was better. It opened up a lot of doors, but also lacked, it going into season 2, they just had a lot of trouble fixing their reputation from season 1,
Yeah, it was just boring. I never watched it.
Yeah, so they set up a lot of interesting stuff. So I think they might at some point bring him back, but maybe, I don't know, recast the character, or definitely find
just
better
revamp
writers.
It in some way.
Yeah, revamp it. Luke Cage, I didn't mind the first season.
He was cool, yeah. I didn't watch the second season.
First season wasn't too bad. The second season was kind of odd. Like, he was still good, but then like at the end of the season, he kind of became like the owner of that club, and like kind of like a gangster type, where he like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I never saw it.
I don't know what they were doing with it, but he was like a gangster hero. So like nobody messed with Harlem pretty much. Yeah. Otherwise he'll mess with you, which is like, I guess, a good type of gangster compared to a bad. I don't know, but
sounds like great content.
I liked his performance, so I think they'll probably bring him back. They'll just they'll probably, the ones they'll revamp.
I think that this stuff is down the line, though. I don't think it's in the near future. No. I think actually, I don't know, because if they are going to do it, they should probably do it. Maybe it's just they have too much on their plate that they're like we're not going to bring them back just because we don't have time. We have all this stuff planned. Like, we've talked about all this that they have filled up. Like, what are they going to do it?
There's been rumblings that Charlie Cox is on the set of Spider-Man No Way Home. That he'll be like the lawyer.
Dude, who knows? Like, with the multiverse, like...
Exactly. Who knows? Who knows? There's just so much. And like, there's so much to cover in just this one podcast. I think we're definitely going to have to do another episode at some point.
Yeah, I think that down the line, we'll go ahead and we'll probably wrap it up right now. But down the line, as like more of these things unfold, and we have a clear sense of where the future might be going, we should definitely do a follow-up episode.
I definitely think so.
But as of right now, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just gonna say I have a lot more ideas for shows that they should do, and I really wanted to discuss them, but I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah, so today's episode was more about what they have planned. Maybe we'll do an episode of what Dylan has planned down the line. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it for On a Tuesday. This was episode 3.
Yeah,
we made it to episode 3. Wow. One thing that I've been forgetting to plug is I went and made us an Instagram.
And so that's right.
If you want to give that a follow, that'd be great. You can follow it at On a Tuesday Pod on Instagram. I've been posting little things of whenever the shows drop every Friday, which I haven't posted yet. I need to post that one. Little clips from the shows. So yeah, please go give that a follow. I'll make a Twitter eventually.
Yeah, we gotta get on that Twitter and TikTok train right there.
Oh yeah, we gotta get on TikTok.
Get on TikTok.
The talk, man. That's where it's at.
Yep. I mean, it's where everybody's headed.
But that's gonna do it for us. I'm Matt.
I'm Dylan.
And this has been On a Tuesday. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.